Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Get Fresh, Stoughton's own cooking show. We want to thank you all for joining us. What we're going to do this time is a show I've been wanting to do for a long time. We're going to do a teaching show. And I listen to Food Channel shows, and I hear discussions of mirepoix and trinities and roux and all kinds of other things, and I know now, but I didn't know at the beginning how to make them and what they were for, and that you can't put anything cold into a warm thing, it'll lumpy. So I asked Laura and Carlos's help to kind of explain to us all about sauces and trinities and mirepoix and whatever. So we're gonna do a recipe on roasted Cornish game hen, and to show you how you can use pan drippings, to just another thing to cook. It isn't actually chicken.
Yeah.
It's little chicken?
It's little chickens.
Little chicken. Is it more dark meat?
Baby. No, it's the same ratio per size.
And again, we thank Stop and Shop for donating all the goods to us, including the chickens, which they're not ultra expensive, but they're more money than a chicken.
Oh, are they?
Well, because it's £1.50, and it was like $5.55.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
But they're very elegant too. It's a nice way to make a nice dinner party and just give something that's a little
They're cute. I mean, people
fancier.
can eat a half of one. It's their own.
Exactly. Yeah, and they do vary a little bit in size. So
Yes,
sometimes
I picked smaller ones because we needed them to cook quickly for you guys.
Yeah, and the smaller ones, could be a full serving for somebody. The little bit beefier ones, you do want to cut in half.
Right.
So even though they're smaller, they still take about an hour in the oven if you're going to do them whole. And then definitely if they're stuffed, you might need a little bit extra time. It's the same like 350, put it in the oven just like a chicken.
Salt and pepper.
So think chicken, just
Think
little.
chicken, just little.
But you get home from work and you want to do this fancy meal and you don't have an hour, you only have half an hour, and you want to just get it going and in the oven and seeing what happens. So what you can do is you can butterfly it, and when you butterfly it, it opens it up. It's less mass, technically, which helps it cook faster.
Right.
So it's a
I mean,
nice
you've
little
all had
trick.
experiences with butterflying lamb breasts, leg of lamb and other kinds of meats.
So you need a really sharp knife. This
Really
is
sharp.
key. If you have
What
a
about
cleaver.
like the scissors? Used to be like
You could do
scissors
that.
to cut.
You could do that, yep. If you're going to do scissors, you're going to go in right here, cut through the breast, and then go down to the tail. With the knife, you're going to come back a little bit, because as you see, that's a little tough to cut. So kind of start mid-back.
And you're pushing right through the bones.
That sounds so bad, but just push through, not all the way though. You want to leave the bottom bones intact.
So you're really just cutting the breast.
Just opening it up that way.
Right.
Okay. And then we talked about mirepoix as well, and
Right.
trinities. There are all kinds of trinities, and they add wonderful flavor. And you think of
Explain in general what's a trinity.
Trinity is a 3.
Yeah, 3. Is it always
It's a
3
3.
vegetables?
It's usually 3 vegetables. They come in across all international scope. So today we're going to do a white mirepoix, and mirepoix is the French version. So Carlos, if you could kind of just chunk up we have an onion. We have a little bit of leek here that's just been cut up and washed. And we're going to line the bottom of our pan. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry about that. A little leek, onion, and celery, and that's a white mirepoix. Regular mirepoix would have the carrots instead of the leek.
So the way you mostly begin a soup, what I begin a lot of soups with, it's celery, carrots, and onion.
Yep, soup, stews,
and that's
sauces.
typical mirepoix.
It is. So this is the white. The Holy Trinity is we talk true trinities.
Right.
It's Cajun and Creole food. And they use celery, onion, and green pepper. And that's their trinity. So good.
Done.
So we're layering
this is a white
on the bottom.
trinity.
And we're just going to put our bird over top.
Wow.
Let them sit like that. I am now chickened. So Carlos, you can use any seasoning that you like on this, or you could put fresh herbs underneath it if you like.
Right.
This is just a nice mix. I'm not going to touch
Just
it.
so you know, when you're
I will
using
wash.
chicken or any kind
Always
of
wash
upholstery,
your board,
wash your board, wash your hands.
anything it
Really
touches.
important.
Yep, so we're going to sprinkle a little bit of that over top. And then drizzle just a touch of olive oil. So I'm going to step out of the
Sure.
way.
Yeah, and you can take your
I
board
didn't plan the dirty
knife.
chicken fingers too well here. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Yep.
And then just a tiny bit of olive oil. You could put a little bit of butter if you wanted to. Just kind of, pat little pats of butter all around. And you see it, it's nice and spread out. I'm going to let you do that, so just a tiny drizzle of
Sure.
olive oil. We're going to put this in a 350 oven, and in about a half an hour, this little guy's going to be done.
350 oven, I
So
mean, that's
done.
really pretty easy.
It is really
So it's
done.
almost worth having a little Cornish hen around for a quick
Absolutely.
supper that looks nicer than, here I threw you a leftover.
Absolutely. So in German, they use celery root instead of celery. In Asian or Indian cooking, it's garlic, chilies, and ginger is their trinity.
Wow.
So every culture has a starter, which is that boost of flavor, which is just so good.
So do you have any
So
idea what
good,
it is
so.
in Portuguese?
I think it's everything here, including a potato.
That could be it
Portuguese
too, or
potatoes
there's
and everything.
sofrito.
So
and
you want me to wash that
So we're
for you?
gonna, actually, I'll take it over because
Okay.
I'm gonna wash my hands.
Perfect.
But if that goes in the oven, so 350, and we'll let that roast, and we have another one ready to go. So while I
Okay.
wash my hands really quickly, and my board, and my knife, if you guys could pull that
Yeah,
over.
put it
We
right
have
on
one
here.
that's already done. We did the whole bird,
Here.
just to show you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put that bird over there.
I mean, I think you should just take a look. You can go wash it, it's
Yep.
okay. We put onions on the bottom here.
Right.
And the celery.
Is that leeks too?
Yeah, those are leeks.
It's the
Onions and
same
leeks.
thing.
And we put a chicken in right at the beginning, earlier, so that we could show you how to cut it up and how to stuff it and how to serve
Right.
it. So there we go.
We are?
The thing I'm not in love with, now we're going to use that to show you how to make a gravy or a sauce out of it.
We are. So
You want that?
that
Or-
you can stay over there.
Okay.
So actually, we're gonna pull out some of these veggies as
Okay.
well. If we had minced them up a little bit smaller, they would have burned in the oven, but we can just kind of drizzle those over that. So when you have left, what I did on this one, because it was a larger bird, it was cooking longer, I did put a little bit of broth in the bottom just so that the bird didn't burn.
Right.
Or if you have the rack, that's even better. So you could put the veggies in
Right,
the
you
bottom,
can put the
bird
veggies on the
on the
bottom, the
rack.
bird on the rack.
I don't have a rack for this
That seems even
pan.
better. That's a great size pan, though.
Yeah, it is
That
a
per-
nice size pan.
So you can all see what's left in there
We'll
is the
leave the
broth
onions in
and the
there.
juices from the
Yep.
chicken.
Exactly.
Flavor.
Yeah,
Exactly.
flavor.
Flavor town.
Nothing but flavor.
Flavor
Exactly.
town.
You need flavor. You need flavor. So if you cook your bird and you get the oils down in there, the fat from the bird, you can use that. And we're moving on to the roux, which is the base of any sauce, any gravy.
So that's
Thanksgiving
ROU
turkey time. You
Yeah,
always
yeah.
do that. So you can use the fat from the bird. You can use butter. You can use olive oil. So Carlos, we're going to do. If you can start to whisk, we'll put this
Sure.
little guy. Let him sit aside.
Yep.
You should let your birds rest too. Helps the juices get back in like steaks.
Almost
you always
all
let
the
them
meat,
rest.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So a roux is spelled R-O-U-X.
Yep, we're gonna
And
actually do it
basically
in
it's a
there.
flour and butter mixture, right?
Flour
Or
and fat.
Flour and fat.
Flour and
Any
fat.
kind.
So we have mostly the fat from the bird in here, a little bit of juice, so we're going to cheat a tiny bit on this one. And you want to get that stirring really quickly. So you melt your butter or heat your fat, whatever that
Now
may
see
be.
how thick that's getting because of the flour. When you're making, sometimes I'm
Can I turn
making a
this off?
soup and I just want it to be a little thicker soup. I added sometimes a little cornstarch.
Yeah.
But first it's better to kind of
Stir.
soften it in cold water.
So the reason we're doing it this way instead of just adding the flour in is
Yeah,
it
if you
cooks a
need
little
that.
bit of that flour flavor out, which is what
Right.
a roux is. And we're doing a white roux here or a blonde roux. White is when you just pretty much get the butter incorporated into the flour. The blonde is you cook it a little bit longer and it gives it a little bit of flavor, and then it goes to a brown roux. A red roux, a brown roux, and then even a black roux. And as you go along with the cooking, the thickening power does increase.
Right.
Until you get to the very, very dark roux, and it loses the thickening power, but it gives it flavor, which is that base of Creole, jambalayas, and those types of dishes.
So people can just casually, thicken things, they can thicken things easily by just adding some either flour, I use
Yep.
cornstarch at times.
Yep, you can use gluten-free flours. Not all flours are equal on this, so just be careful
that's
about
interesting.
that. Coconut absorbs too quickly, and you have lumps, and it's not good. So we're adding a little bit of broth at a time, and hopefully you can see this. If you pour the broth all in at once, it would just lump, and it would be a mess. So you want to get it so that it's starting to be,
That
really
looks
thick
wonderful and
but
smells
smooth.
great.
Kind of a risotto type of thing?
Kind of,
And you
yeah.
put the broth in a
You
little
keep
bit at a
adding
time.
and keep
Yeah.
adding and keep
And then
adding.
once you get it that it's, pretty creamy and liquidy, kind of like a heavy cream consistency, then you can add in the rest of your broth. And the ratio is I always did 1 to 1, like 1 tablespoon of butter to 1 tablespoon of flour. It's actually officially, it's 1 tablespoon of your fat, butter in most cases, to 1 3/4 tablespoon of flour, or 1 to 1 by weight. I don't know about you, I'm not breaking out the scale to measure a tablespoon of butter. It just,
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
it's,
doing
you know,
it.
it's lined on the, tells you where to cut.
Yep,
You know,
to
it's
about a
pretty
cup
easy.
of, so it's that 1 to 1 to a cup of liquid is really your ideal thickening. You know, if you
I
like a
see.
thinner broth, a thicker gravy, whatever, adjust that a little bit for yourself.
So if you're
certainly.
adding, I mean, if I, like when I like to try to thicken a soup, I mix the roux ahead and then I pour it into the
So
soup.
that's a beurre monnaie, is what they call
Aha.
it, which I was going to say. You've got this going and you screwed up and you put too much broth in and now you have this runny, soupy gravy. So you can mash that butter and flour. You have to incorporate it really well, mash it up really well, and then add it. And the reason that works, if you've ever just thrown flour into gravy, you have lumps.
Right,
But
you
if you
have
do it
lumps.
that way, the fat protects the flour and lets it kind of melt in slowly into your gravy.
I see.
And that's how that works.
As a young bride, I tried making gravy, and it was as lumpy as can be. And honestly, I never even tried gravy again for 20 years.
Wow.
And I
Scared
still
you off,
stay
yeah.
away from. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Only lately, the last like couple of years, yum,
Yeah.
have I understood about roux and the flour and the butter and how to
Absolutely.
actually mix it. So don't be afraid if you're not making sauces and gravies.
So we're gonna make-
Don't waste the juices.
Yeah. So we're gonna let that just keep going. Get your work out there for a second until it's nice and thick, comes up to a boil.
Keep stirring.
Until
Is
it
that what you're saying?
boils,
So
yeah.
I shouldn't have worked on shoulders at the gym
No,
yesterday?
you shouldn't have. You should have. So you want it to boil, and that way you get the full thickening power of your flour. Just
Yeah.
FYI. So once that's done, we'll put it aside. But in the meantime, we've got this beautiful bird.
Oh,
it's got some
delicious
nice
looking. And
flavorings.
I keep looking at it.
Gravy's great, right?
Yeah,
Gravy's
right.
wonderful.
Gravy's
But what
great.
if you're doing something a little fancier and you don't want gravy all over your plate or all over those beautiful vegetables that
Right.
you're doing for your very fancy dinner party for your boss? What you can do is make a hollandaise. And I know we're all going, oh my
yeah.
God, I can't do that.
Interesting.
You can.
Laura's going to have me do a hollandaise sauce, and it is a sauce I have never made before.
It's,
I
yeah,
will
when you
tell
do it on the cooktop, it's tricky. It separates easily. But this is Julia Child's blender hollandaise, and it's going to be really easy.
Okay.
So
Look at
Sharon-
this fabulous blender. Laura's got great equipment.
Right.
I just want to tell you,
All right,
she's
well,
got
let's
the panini
use it.
press,
Let's
the-
use it.
Yeah, and we're going to use it. This is beautiful.
So I just want to make sure we're going to
Okay.
do 3 egg yolks. If
3
you would
egg
separate
yolks.
some eggs, do you need a,
Well, I can do.
You have a
here.
bowl over
I
there,
need
okay.
another. I can just use a.
This is getting thick.
I can just use
I
this
feel it.
paper cup. You feel
I
it.
feel
getting
it.
harder?
No. I just it's gone from a
So
watery
if you folks
consistency.
know how
And
to
it's
get a
starting to
yolk
boil.
out without the white, though I'm sure there are ways. The way I do it
Oh, we got it?
is I just let it seep out like this, and then I just move the yolk back and forth carefully, because otherwise you end up
Lots of shells in
with
there.
lots of shells, yeah. So there's the whites.
Yeah.
You end up with a little bit, so that's a yolk, huh?
and the yolk can go right in the blender.
Yeah, oh, okay. You know what, someone told me years ago that that you should put eggs into a bowl first, because if you, like, your third egg is a blood egg or something bad, then you've ruined all the eggs.
That's true. Or if you're
So-
cracking eggs, you get shell in it, you can dig it out of the bowl easier than your cake
That's
batter.
not gonna work so well.
So we're just zesting up some lemon zest here, because good hollandaise has some nice lemon flavor in it. And I'll walk you through what we're going to do really quick, because it will get a little bit noisy, and you can watch and see what happens as we do it. So
Okay.
again, I just want to confirm my ingredients here. So we're doing a touch of salt in with, excuse me, touch of salt in with our egg yolks, and we're just going to blend that and blend that and blend that with a
Whoops.
tablespoon of lemon juice. And We're going
Okay.
to let that kind of emulsify a
Hang
little
on.
bit. Emulsify meaning come together, be happy.
Okay, so what do you need now?
So a
The
little bit of
yolks are in there?
salt and we
Little
need
bit of
some
salt.
lemon juice. Sorry, I should let you do this.
No, it's
Um,
fine. Squeeze
That's
this in.
probably a
Squeeze?
tablespoon right there. Well, not in because you have pits. So if you have
Oh,
a bowl
yeah.
or something.
There's a way to put your hand over it,
You can
isn't
do
there?
that too,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
do.
yeah, go ahead. So I need the. I
Well,
need
you don't wanna put
another.
that into
Yeah,
your lemon
no,
juice.
'cause those are my egg. But can I put my hand over
You
it just
can.
and pray? Woo!
There-
Tilt it up a little more. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to catch
There
the
you go.
seeds.
I'm catching the seeds.
She did learn something on these past shows.
I did. Oh, I've learned a lot. I love to cook, and I cook often. And you know, I just got a seed in there.
That's all right. The blender will take care of it.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, so
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm telling you properly. So we are going to let that blend. So we have the lemon juice. You can throw the lemon zest in there, nice little zester. It's always a good thing.
And is this a trick?
You have to just get it down and in,
This isn't the
lift
right
the
way.
lid.
Okay.
All right, let's
I think
see.
it's the wrong direction, maybe.
Is that back
That's-
one over there?
Yeah.
Of course,
you go.
because that's an awkward spot for us. That's
Right.
all right.
Okay, and then,
So you have to
Dough,
hit
blend.
power. Oh, we got to plug it in first.
okay.
You got to plug it in, and you're going to
Okay.
hit power and then blend. So we're going to let that go for about a minute. Let those egg yolks get nice and creamy, and then before we do this, we're going to very slowly add in the melted butter. So this is just plain melted
Into
butter,
here?
stick of butter. Yep. Once the egg
Is
yolks
this
are
open
going,
right here?
don't touch that.
Okay.
We're going to pour the butter in the corner.
So I should blend.
So power first and then blend. There you go. Before I do this, I'm just going to say add the butter very slowly.
see you.
So I just want to say that you want to go very slow with your butter. And it's like when you add oil to dressings, you have to go very slow or you just sort of dump the oil in the fat and it doesn't come together. So little
Okay.
tip there. All righty. And that's your
Fini?
sauce.
That's hollandaise, that's it.
That's
So
it.
lemon,
That's it.
Raw
Butter
egg, that's
and-
okay.
It's okay, but use very fresh eggs. Double check your dates on the side of the package. If you can get nice cage-free organic, like
Maybe
how do
a
we
friend
get
will
this
give you some
out?
eggs from their hens.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
So,
we're gonna just
Carlos,
let that sit there for
let
a
it sit?
second.
Okay.
Because I'm putting Carlos to work. So we
Oh,
have
okay.
our hollandaise, if you want to go real fancy schmancy, a little asparagus on the side. We've got our gravy, mashed potatoes if you're doing classic. But I'm going to show you a veloute, which is another version of using a roux.
More
So
French cooking, huh?
2 tablespoons of butter. So again, we're doing our
Yep.
roux. If you're trying to be a little health conscious, you could do 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Or if you have dairy allergies, of course, that would not be good to do that. Going to mix our gravy in a little bit there.
Sure.
So same concept. You're going to let your butter melt down. Get that going, and this will be a very light roux. A light roux.
Right.
Yeah, light roux.
Kind
All
of,
right.
It
Same
is.
thing.
I think I need more coffee. Just the white roux, so just really melting it in, incorporating. We don't want color on this because this is a very delicate sauce. So we'll start mixing that flour in a little bit. And then this one, we are going to add a little bit of fresh herb to it. And a veloute is really just using the broth, kind of like gravy.
Do you know what veloute means? I
Veloute,
don't. Velvet? It sounds
velvety.
velvet,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. I'm like, I do know this one. It does mean velvet because it's a very smooth sauce, and it's one of the mother sauces, which you all know the mother
The
sauces.
mother sauces are the
that you
base
can
one,
now
the basic, yeah.
Go from here to other. So again, we're just going to add in a little broth, nice and slow. We're using vegetable broth on this one. And Sharon, could I have you pull some of the thyme?
Sure.
Maybe a couple sprigs. And you see how that's coming together again. We don't want to dump it all in. We want to make sure that we're really whisking. Carlos is going to have a great shoulder after
Right.
this.
Now, when you say pull, you want me to take them
Take the
off
leaves off.
Yep.
Yep.
I can do that, believe it or not. I learned that here. I do it all the time with herbs at home. You just go backwards, and all the stuff comes right off easily.
Absolutely.
And every time I do this, I think of Laura.
Oh, thank you. So
Wow.
at this point, this is your base really of the veloute, and then adding in herbs, adding in lemon, adding in, you can make a Mornay sauce, which is a cheese sauce from this point, and a little nutmeg. This is your base, not that thick. We're going to keep thinning it out. This one, because it's with the bird, I think a little lemon would be nice. We're going to do a little rosemary. We need to chop that up too, if you would, please.
Okay, how aromatic too is this?
Again, squeeze a little bit of lemon in there. We might need a little bit more broth.
Is this enough, do you think? Doesn't
It
look
is
like
enough.
very
We're not
much.
making tons.
Okay. And rosemary is a strong spice.
It is.
It has a nice
But
flavor.
Yeah, you could use thyme. You can complement whatever herbs are on your bird. So whether it be a turkey, a chicken, this is also very nice on fish. You could use a seafood stock instead of a vegetable stock or a chicken stock or turkey stock or whatever, wherever you are
Wherever
on
you
the
are.
meal. Exactly.
Thyme, but no rosemary.
Where does it go?
That's
No.
right. You can drop it in. Thank you. Just mix that up, and we're going to let that thicken for just a tiny bit. And I think we're going to plate up our chicken and show you.
Wonderful.
We've got some of the sauces on
Let me
this
grab a
side.
plate.
We have a nice big one back here.
Oh, we do. Oh, right, we do. Isn't that a beautiful plate?
So, can I just scoot you
Sure.
over a little bit and then give
You
some
want to
Sharon
jump
some
over
room?
here and I'll do my bad boy
Do you want
stuff
me
over
to
here.
just put it on here? Or you want to do it in a special
Yeah,
way?
you can drop it on there. That's fine.
Okay. Your onion.
So we have our gravy. Do we want to maybe do some little cups or
little salt and
something?
pepper in here, Chef? Nope.
Little
Not
cups.
on this one, no.
No.
Not on this one. We're going to keep it really nice and light. So to wrap up, we have our nice gravy here. You could.
Do you need
Yep,
things like
that's
that?
perfect. Perfect. So that way we don't have all the sauces running together.
Woo.
Did I slop already? That's
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Let's put this back over here.
It's okay, whatever you do, you can fix it. That's a good thing to know.
That's
Water.
right.
Okay.
That's looking gorgeous. So you could see a nice lemony yellow color, absolutely beautiful,
Getting
velvety.
thick, yeah, absolutely, getting thick.
It's-
Now, I eat hollandaise sauce on Eggs Benedict.
yes, that's very classic use.
So
Great.
that's the hollandaise sauce that
That's
It's on
hollandaise.
Eggs Benedict. It's easy.
I usually get it on the side.
I know. Yeah, it's not one of those calorie conscious
Right,
sauces,
right.
but
And on
it's
the
so
side.
good. And then
Well, it
that
was mostly eggs and lemon, honestly.
and a stick of butter.
Oh, a stick of butter, yeah,
yeah.
right. A whole stick of butter, so that's a big thing. Okay.
And our little lemony rosemary veloute sauce.
Delicious.
And there you have it. You've got weeknight dinner. Very easy. You could throw some beautiful vegetables on the side here. Do your platter this way. If you've got time to make a couple of the sauces, you could do all three or just the one, wherever you want to go.
And I hope that you have learned, because this is a little bit different show because we really tried hard to teach a lot of different things. I hope you've learned to get more comfortable with roux, with sauces, with flour.
So simple.
So
Let me
simple.
throw that in there. It's so
So
simple.
simple.
It really is.
I was
And-
intimidated when I
And
saw
I'd
the
love
show.
them to see how the butterfly
simple.
looks, even though I know it isn't finished.
Okay,
Is it in the oven?
it's
But I would.
very
would have-
pale.
Okay.
Very pale.
It's going to be still pale, but it's important to see how it's coming along.
We use that wonderful magic of television for our
Right.
finished one.
So, but even
the-
that looks like it's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be really pretty.
And you could pour one of these sauces, maybe one of
oh,
those
absolutely.
two on it.
When you serve
Yeah.
it.
God, I'm getting really hungry, people.
Use your
Yeah.
veggies underneath. It'd be a wonderful flavor on those. Plate it up, drizzle, and you're done.
Fabulous. Thank
So,
you so
I'll
much
come
for,
back in.
for teaching us so much.
Oh, my
Thank you,
pleasure.
Carlos, as always.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
learned
you.
these sauces, which I was intimidated when I saw the notes
Yeah,
of the
what
show.
we're
And they go,
doing.
oh my God. But they're so simple.
They're
They are
simple,
simple.
and they
Right.
really dress up a dish.
They do.
They make it
So- good
something
sauce,
special,
I tell
feels
ya.
like a restaurant
Like
dish.
a good sauce, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
like a good sauce. Thank you very much for joining us. Come back again. Bye.